never ceases to impress. It is another episode of Realities May Vary, the podcast that does what it wants, when it wants. Your schedule be damned. Wow, that was harsh.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, you know why? This is why I also have a big whiskey tonight. Because the world is a shit show.
What
Welcome to the
happened?
show, everybody.
What happened?
Are you kidding me?
Hold on.
Are you really? I know your normal shtickle is you don't follow the news. You have no idea what's been happening today.
Stickle my dickle. Sasha Banks and Naomi walked out of WWE. And they're indefinitely suspended. Very upsetting. They have not commented on why. A lot of rumors going on. There's some backstage heat that they're getting. These were the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. They didn't agree with the story goes they didn't agree with the booking decision for Monday Night Raw. So they walked into the head of talent relations, John Laurinaitis' office, dropped their tag team championships on the table, walked out. WWE releasing a horrific statement, having Michael Cole speak to the camera and say that they let everyone down. Sasha and Naomi let everyone down. They're very upset about this, and they would be indefinitely suspended. A very racist reaction against two very talented, fine young black women.
I didn't know they were African American women or black.
They were African American,
or they are. I didn't know they are.
That
they were.
I believe they currently.
You know what? We've quit wrestling, and we've also decided we're not going to be black anymore.
Well, many people have walked out of WWE in the past, had big issues. They never get called out on camera directly as like a statement immediately following it, being like they really let us all down. Kind of crappy, and then they're like stripped from the website. Pretty bad look for WWE. So we gotta, there's got to be more to the story that's gonna come out.
I would imagine, and I hope you are on that. I hope you are using your investigative journalism hat that will mess up your investigative journalist hair to get to the bottom of this story. I hope that's part of it. That was not what I was talking about.
No, once
today,
a day,
but that's a huge story.
Once a day, I Google Sasha Banks and then read whatever wrestling rag result comes up. So that's my investigative journalism.
Wow. I don't think I had heard that name before tonight.
Oh, that's too bad. Sasha Banks' uncle is Snoop Dogg.
Get out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she was in an episode of The Mandalorian.
Is that right? What did she do?
I don't know which one. She has usually like blue hair, but I'm not sure if
I see pictures of her. She got some different shades of blue in her hair.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that is a big story. I'll grant you that. It is not a story that to me rises to the world as a shit show. But it could for some people, I'm sure.
You're dropping some S-bombs.
I'm sorry. I will put a disclaimer on this episode.
I genuinely have no idea what happened today. I have no idea what you're. I have not been on Twitter. I haven't had a single second. I've been working nonstop and then fed my kid. Went to Men's Warehouse to get fitted for a tux. Very nice gentleman. Took care of me real quick.
You have another wedding.
I'm in. Yeah, I've got like 6 this year. I mean, I'm at groomsman and Icebag John's wedding in September.
Okay.
Came back home. I listened to a This American Life podcast in the car. Probably besides this one, probably the best podcast objectively in the world.
Sure.
I have no idea what happened today. I have zero indication. I don't know if this is national news, international news.
It's national.
Did Roe v. Wade get overturned?
No. 18 third and fourth graders were murdered at a school in Texas.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. 21 people dead. 18 of them, most of them children, 10 years old or younger.
I can't do this story.
Coming 10 days. I know, but it's coming 10 days after the shooting in Buffalo. Once again, it's unbelievable. And it's a small town in Texas, about 80 miles away from San Antonio. The kid who did it, 18, lives in the community, goes to that high school. They still don't know why he went to the grade school. And so that's good. And once again, we are bombarded. The president just spoke, and we are bombarded with thoughts and prayers. So that'll help. unless you care. And then you're like, thoughts and prayers are hogwash. I was going to say BS, but I've already said shit a couple times tonight, so I really don't want to say it again. But yeah, it is. I don't know what's going on in the world anymore. I don't know. I don't know how people get into schools. I know it's Texas where I think you have to have a gun. When you're born, they give you, I believe you're given a gun at your christening. It's a little baby gun, and then you grow up, and every birthday you get another gun. And yeah, so I don't want to, we're not going to, I don't want to spend the whole time on this, but the day we're recording this is, just another horrific instance of America. And as somebody with a little kid, I mean, I'm horrified and terrified by this. I can't imagine what it's like to be a parent who still has kids in school and sends them off to school every day. And, I know when my parents sent me to school, there was never a day they thought, well, there's a good chance he might not come home. Or not even there's a slight chance he might not come home. That never entered their mind. There were probably days where they went, man, we hope he doesn't come home. But there was never a day when you had to think about that. And now we do, can't go to am I going to go to the grocery store and get shot? Am I going to go downtown to McDonald's and get shot? Am I going, I don't know what's going on, Cody. I don't know what's happening. So I'm going to have a little apple whiskey and just wonder.
You wonder why part of my shtick is not knowing stuff, but dude,
ignorance is bliss in this case.
I can't.
Yeah.
Like I can't even think we need to move on quickly.
Yeah, we'll move on.
As someone with like I mean, not that everyone isn't empathetic, but like I over index on the empathy and having a little kid.
No, I can't imagine.
When I start to project it, like I can't do that. I can't do it. I can't do it. I hit a mental wall, and it's like we have there's a friend of the family that recently one of the young parents passed away around my age of like a 5 and 7-year-old or something around those eight. And just hearing about it, I mean, it just destroyed me. And I don't really know. It's like kind of a friend of a friend of a friend kind of a thing, but just the thought of two little kids and that stuff destroys me. So that sucks a lot.
No, we won't, because what are we going to do? We going to debate mental illness and gun control and go round and round and round again?
No, it's hard.
There's nothing we can do.
I hope that sharing my perspective help some people realize, if you're like me, that there are other people like you.
Yeah. And it's okay. I mean, I'd love to sometimes not know what's going on, but you talk about projection and, when Sandy Hook happened, it was obviously horrible, and Columbine and all these other mass shootings are bad enough. But then when kids are involved, it's just, I can't get into it. I can't understand it. I can't believe it. And then I start thinking about, all right, I know at our school, to get into the building, you have to get buzzed in if you don't have a key card. And even if you get buzzed into the front door, you're in the lobby, you have to get buzzed in again. And I don't know I don't know how other schools work. I'm guessing maybe in small towns, it's not like that because you don't think about that kind of thing. And this is not, I'm not blaming, I'm just trying to figure out how, on the very easiest level, how do they get in the building? Because we know how people get guns. We know, we don't know if you have to be insane to do it, but I'm tired of coddling everything in mental illness. It's like, everybody's mentally ill. Yeah, people are mentally ill, but sometimes they're also, criminals, horrible criminals that need to be dealt with. But I've thought of that because at school on Thursday, we're having a big evacuation drill. I've been through the active shooter drills. It's no way to live. And the kids know it, and it's just rough. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. I do want to. You're a guy who loves marketing. You love corporations who make horrible missteps. I'm sure if you didn't hear about this story, you definitely didn't hear about this story today. I wanted to get your opinion on it because I read it and I was just like, okay, boy, tone deafness runs wild. Walmart had to pull their Juneteenth ice cream. That's right. Walmart was going to sell Juneteenth ice cream. A Walmart rep said Juneteenth holiday marks a celebration of freedom and independence. However, we received feedback that a few items caused concern for some of our customers, and we sincerely apologize. We are reviewing our assortment and will remove items when appropriate. Yes, they still have their Pride ice cream for Pride Month, but they probably figured, no, we should probably get rid of our Juneteenth ice cream, especially when they were getting comments. Of course, the Twitter mob went right after them. It was red velvet ice cream, swirl with cheesecake ice cream, and included the message, share and celebrate African-American culture, emancipation, and enduring hope. Now, I don't know if those two flavors are uniquely African-American in the eyes of Walmart, but yeah. So they got rid of that ice cream, but they still have the Pride ice cream, which is white chocolate with brownies and cherries. Which again, not really rainbow. Isn't the rainbow flag the universal
it
pride
should be
symbol?
Spumoni. Why isn't it Spumoni?
Or rainbow sherbet, right there. You got rainbow right in the name.
Yeah,
you got
that's
bright colors. That would be fine. But yeah, did you order your Juneteenth ice cream before it was discontinued?
I did not. That'd be a great collector's item. This is maybe an argument for having diverse staffs.
You think?
Like, I doubt. Well, let me clarify.
Okay.
I don't just mean that diversity runs deep, more than just skin deep.
Correct.
There are white people that probably would have raised a flag and been like, well,
I think two of them are right here. I think if we were sitting at that meeting, here's an idea. We're down in Arkansas with the board at Walmart, and so here's an idea. That they're taking off Juneteenth now. It's a holiday, so maybe we ought to make an ice cream for them people. Wouldn't that be good? Wouldn't it make us look good at Walmart? Always low prices, always racist ice cream.
There could have been a black person in that boardroom, that just has a different perspective, right? So it's not just about skin deep, but the more people you got in a room and the more different perspectives you bring, the better. And
it's just tone deaf. Mm-hmm. It's like you can. There's a tiny part of my brain that goes, I kind of see what they were doing from a purely financial and commercial aspect. They were like, well, this is a big deal, so why don't we pay tribute and also make a little do-re-mi off of it?
Yeah.
So I get it to an extent, but then you got to go, well, we're not selling Martin Luther King bulletproof vests. Where that was a hot take. That's a hot take.
Oh man,
which would be horrible. Which would again be horrible.
I appreciate this story and the segue. Can we go back to the other one real quick, just to put a button on it?
Yeah, I thought you wanted to get away from that horrible story.
But we have to address it again because now there's violence happening in our chat. So please, chat, calm down. I understand. Believe me, this is a sensitive topic. One thing I want to quickly address is Sally said, Cody, you need to get with it. So I just want to.
That's not a good comment.
Well, it's all right. It's fair to say you should know what's happening in the world. However, I have made this point in this podcast before, and if you're listening and
watching a radio show, this is nothing new. That this week you decided you were off the news.
No. But here's the specific point I want to make, and I think I'd like to get your thoughts on this, Brian. I've made this point on this podcast before, but I'd like to re-articulate it. And if you're listening, I want you to really think about it. Does knowing a certain thing make either A, does it make your life better, or B, help you grow as a person, or C, change your opinion on something, right? So in my case, like knowing about this news doesn't do any of those things. And
Right.
I personally find that's the case with many news stories.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp is on trial for something. I don't
Oh
know. I
boy.
don't know what. I
Oh,
don't know what.
he's suing his ex-wife for defamation.
Great. Didn't don't know, don't care. I see
She
pictures of
pooped
Johnny.
in his bed. You don't care about that?
I have no desire
Oh,
to
all
care.
right.
Knowing that wouldn't help me grow as a person.
Right.
It wouldn't make my life better. Like Johnny Depp's he pretends to be Willy Wonka. That's who
Right.
he pretends to be a pirate.
Poorly.
He's a dude that pretends to be a pirate and walks around and he's funny. Okay, I'll watch a movie. That's the extent of Johnny Depp's relevance to my life. And he doesn't help me grow as a person, clearly knowing this. And it doesn't change my opinion because I don't have an opinion about Johnny Depp because I don't care.
Right.
So I'm sure that some people see stories like this and they're like, well, maybe my opinions on some hot button topic like guns might change. But like, I'm already pretty much of the mind of like, people shouldn't shoot each other, right? So it doesn't really change or
Wow.
grow me. I know, very hot take.
Controversial.
So, but you know what I mean?
You're
Like,
gonna get canceled for that one.
I'm not saying blue pill, and I couldn't say this on WGN, which was very frustrating because there
Right.
were days when we would come in and I would ignore the newscast or somebody would call and ask a question. And I would just be like, people shouldn't be consuming this.
Right.
Like the WGN newscast would be like, well, a little boy drowned in this suburb. And then there's a 4-car pileup and 4 people were shot. And then Illinois legislature is corrupt and stole $4 million. And it's like, this doesn't help me. This doesn't help me grow as a person. It
Right.
doesn't really help me make any decisions. It doesn't make me feel good. Like it's a net negative. So like I was like kind of anti-news. And the only reason I worked there probably the last 5 to 10 years was because I worked with you.
Because they didn't know we were there.
No one knew we were there, but like the newscast itself, and like, God bless Roger Badish and our phenomenal news teams. Like they were great news reporters, but
right.
the information being presented, I thought by and large wasn't making anyone's life better. And this is an example of that. Like when you told me what the story was, I was borderline traumatized. Go back and look at the video. I'm sure
Right. You
can see
were.
it on my
And
face.
you know what? That should be all of our reaction. To be
Right.
honest with you, when
Yes.
we hear it, we should all be traumatized.
But you know what I mean? So anyway, I put that out there. And I think there's a line, right? There should be some awareness, but I don't think I'm out of line by saying that I'm better off not knowing a lot of this stuff.
I didn't either. And to be honest, until I started, I would watch the news, but I got more involved, and I'm still like, my level is more than your level, but it's still way under a lot of people's news consumption level. I want to be able, because of what we do, not only here, but what I do at TMJ and stuff. I need to be I need to at least know what's going on. And then I can do deep dives into other things. Like this, I don't need to do a deep dive. I know everything I need to know about this. I don't care what this guy's mental state was. I know he's insane. Nobody else goes in and shoots 10-year-olds unless you're insane. So, okay, the guy on the New York subway, the shooter who just killed a guy for no reason, going to brunch the other morning. Was I surprised when they arrested him and said he had 20 prior arrests? No, not at all. I know those. I get it.
Do you think I knew about? I didn't know about that.
But that's okay. Because really, and Sandy said this when her kids were young, she didn't really pay attention to the news because it was too much. I couldn't imagine. I would be just like you if Molly was your son's age or in grade school, or now I have a different set of worries because she's an adult woman living on her own in the city. So, and she goes out because now violence happens in every neighborhood. So I worry, my worry is a different worry as opposed to your worries. But no, I don't think it's out of line to go, I need to shut some of this stuff out of my life, because if not, we see all you have to do is scroll through, and I know you don't even do this much, all you have to do is scroll through Facebook or Twitter,
Oh.
and you see how unhappy all this news is making everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know about the war in Ukraine. I want to know that it's happening. I'm not going to get into the geopolitical reasons of it. I want to know about monkeypox, just because, one, it's fun to say. Two, it really looks horrible. And three, why not? We already have one pandemic raging. Let's get some monkeypox on the table.
Well, and four, you're already tapped into Florida news.
I've tapped into Florida news. I've got, I know finally why they don't talk about Bruno. I learned that today at school. So I feel it's my responsibility to have my fingers in everything. But I also don't.
Whoa.
I don't.
Let's get us in a lawsuit. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Well, my fingers are in a lot of things.
Hashtag me too. You know what I mean?
My fingers are in everything consensually.
Oh my God.
The news is given over to me, and I take full advantage of it.
See, in your the news story you told me, that was on non-consensual. I did not consent to hearing that. So,
well, I know I triggered you. You want me to trigger you with something else?
No, wait. I've got a great segue out of this.
I hope so.
And it ties the whole episode together because it involves Texas and pro wrestling. How about that?
So far, yeah, we can put a bow on this whole first part.
Perfect. Last, I just thought, because I thought you were going to say something about either. I literally was actually thinking that you were going to say that that Russia dropped a nuke.
Oh my God!
I literally thought you were going to say that, and that I wouldn't know, and I would be finding out from you on this podcast.
Hold on a second. Listen, I don't know if you can hear as we're talking about this. All the sirens in the background?
No, I can't.
There's a million sirens going on, like right on the street a block away from me.
Why?
I don't know. I mean,
someone put in the chat if a nuke is released by a major global power during our podcast, because we're not checking Twitter. At least I'm not. What was I gonna say? So I've been catching up on AEW Dynamite. Long story short, last night I was watching last week's episode, which was in Houston.
Okay.
And CM Punk is right now, he's kind of towing the line between a good guy and a bad guy. He's mostly loved, but he's kind of trolling the crowd. Like, he came out the week before in a city wearing the opposing team's hockey jersey. Just push some buttons, get a little gray area in that good guy, bad guy. And he walked out in Houston, Texas to start the show. And he walks out and he's wearing a t-shirt and in big letters, abortion rights are human rights.
Whoa.
Yeah. In Houston, Texas.
Texas on a wrestling show.
Yeah. He walks out and you hear the crowd pop big for him and they're all going nuts. And then you hear the enthusiasm simmers down a little bit more than usual, and he's wearing it, and he stands out there, he's puffing his chest out, and then he goes, because he was doing commentary for a match, walks over to the announce table, sits down, the commentator is just looking, kind of just nod, and Tony Schiavone's kind of smiling, and then Excalibur goes, "Nice shirt, by the way." He's like, "Hey." And they just go into it. But I thought that was a hilarious troll.
That is a great troll
for the state of Texas, of all places. Yeehaw!
That is a great troll on the right side of the history, I believe.
That's on the left side, actually.
Oh, well, you're correct. The correct side of history.
Some side of history. I don't know, man. How about that formula shortage? Am I right?
Yeah. But listen, the first plane landed from overseas the other day in Indianapolis, a military cargo plane with a whole bunch of formula. They've ramped up what do they call it? The Defense Production Act. So they're cranking that up. So hopefully babies are going to get their formula pretty soon, because things are getting dire. I was on in Milwaukee the other day, and they had a big surge in children being admitted to the hospital for malnourishment because either people are stretching out their formula or not, or switching formula, or at home trying to tinker and make their own formula because they saw it on YouTube. And so that's not going well. And what else? Well, monkeypox. We got the war. We've got
Johnny Depp.
We got Johnny. I mentioned the only highlights I know about the Johnny Depp thing is the pooping in the bed, allegedly. She kind of cut off part of his finger, and he allegedly hit her. So that's what I know about the trial. So we got that going on. We've got
a new Thor.
Yeah, I saw that's coming. So that's good. I haven't watched the Batman yet. I got to watch the Batman.
I'm not gonna.
You're not gonna? Why not?
I don't know. I just don't
supposed
feel like
to be very good. Molly watched it. Molly saw it and said it was very good.
Our
old coworker Brian Altimer, who was Rocon's technical producer, and now is technical producer of the afternoon show, has watched it 8 times. But he's a huge Batman fan. Huge.
There's a lot of films that I figure I'll be watching in about 10 years with my son anyway.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of like, I'll just wait.
So you're gonna wait and watch all the Batmans together?
All the movies together.
All the movies.
Spaceballs, a Marvel movie. Spaceballs again. Another Marvel movie. Spaceballs again. Another Marvel movie.
You're not gonna throw a Young Frankenstein in there, or
I'll throw in a Young Frankenstein.
Classic. What about Blazing Saddles?
A little bit of Blazing Saddles. Maybe when he's very much old enough.
13 Blazing Saddles.
There's some stuff that it's not that it didn't age well, because it's Mel Brooks and it's satire. But
right,
if you don't understand that, like, you have to have a pretty sophisticated understanding of context and history and sarcasm and satire to understand that, like, Mel Brooks, like, motorboating giant-breasted women is like,
or Cleavon Little go, where are the white women at?
Yeah, things, it's like this is, they know that's not okay when they're doing it.
Sure, of course they do.
But there were so many movies made around the time that didn't know that wasn't okay.
I disagree. I think they all knew it wasn't okay. Mel Brooks did it well, so that it was so obviously satire that it was fine.
The Bond movies all did it.
Oh yeah, every movie did it. Mad Men did it.
Right.
Ricky Gervais is in trouble because his new special was out for about 8 hours, and it was already getting some blowback on Twitter this morning.
Why? What did he joke about?
Transgender women.
The Onion had a headline that said Ricky Gervais starves to death after all low-hanging fruit fall off the tree, or something, or after he eats all the low-hanging fruit off the tree. I don't know. I didn't know what it was in reference to. I just love The Onion. See, get your news from The Onion. That's the way to go.
Right. Or here, because we usually have about 60% of the facts correct. And then we just blow through with all the rest.
I have all my wrestling facts correct. Who do you think's going to walk out of AEW Double or Nothing AEW World Heavyweight Champion? CM Punk or Hangman Adam Page? This Sunday live on pay-per-view.
Wow, I only know one of those wrestlers, and I understood about 8 of those words.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with CM Punk just because I liked his T-shirt idea.
That's what I'm thinking. I've got his T-shirt.
And you also had his ice cream bar.
I had his ice cream bar.
Yeah. So you got to be going for CM Punk, right?
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah.
So I think we've covered the news.
What did you do this weekend? Anything fun? How's your toe?
Oh man.
Is that why you're drinking? Is that the other reason you're drinking?
Well, today it is I am sore and swollen after school because I was in a first grade classroom that was nonstop. Cody, I say this without any exaggeration, and you know my love for hyperbole. If I had $1 for every time today I was asked if someone could go to the bathroom or get a drink of water, I could retire. These youngsters, they're first graders, so they're goofballs, and that's fine. I don't mind that because they're not mean-spirited. There's not discipline problems. They're chatty beyond belief. Anytime they have to ask you a question, they can't raise their hand and ask it from the chair. They got to come right up on you. So at one point I had 4 like swarm me, and I was like, you guys got to step back for a minute because Mr. Noonan needs to think. But yeah, they were all going. So this weekend I did the show in Milwaukee, but the toe is hurting. But the other day I went for my 2-week post-op appointment. And again, the doctor looked at my third toe and was like, oh, it's looking good. And I'm like, oh, man, it does not look good. And then he took this out of my toe.
That looks like a 3-inch needle, basically.
Yep. It could be a lapel pin. It's a 3-inch pin with a little ball on the top. That was in the third toe. There's another one of these that are still in my fourth toe.
Okay.
But I've been able to wear shoes. However, I can only wear one pair of shoes because the toe box has to be wide enough where this pin doesn't keep getting hammered. So right now, I look like everybody I've ever made fun of. I'm wearing no-show socks with sandals because it's the only thing that my feet hurt so bad after I got home from school, I couldn't put my shoes back on. So I go this week. I'm hoping that they take the other pin out. We'll see. Things are not pretty down there, but I'm walking around. You know, I don't have to wear the goofy surgical shoe anymore.
Yeah.
And went out. So my mom was out of town. We go out there because I don't know. Your parents are still young enough where like there's not big medical issues, right? You're not worried that they're living. And plus they have each other. Like my mom lives by herself because my dad passed away. And I have 4 brothers and she tells all of us something and then swears us to secrecy. So 5 of us know things that I know things that my other 4 brothers don't know and vice versa. Now, I hadn't realized, I had forgot, when she had her bedroom all redone and her bed, she got a queen size bed instead of the old full size bed she used to have. So she had to get rid of the big bed frame, the actual wood bed. And now her mattress is just on a metal frame because she hasn't decided what kind of bed she wants. Well, I didn't realize it was on wheels. The bed is on wheels.
Right.
And she's challenged with mobility things. I guess when one of my brothers was staying at her house, she went to get in bed and the bed slid and she fell. Thank God she wasn't hurt, but she made my brother swear not to tell anybody, which he did not until last week when the 5 of us made a pact that we are not going to keep these secrets anymore. So I ordered some things to go on the frame and I went out and put those on her bed. And I walked in with them. I hadn't told her I was getting them. And I go, hey, I'm going to put these on your. Well, no, I go, Ma, my bed's not on wheels. Nobody's bed's on wheels. You can't have your bed on wheels. Oh, okay. So I went up and I put those on. And then we had a bunch of old movie reels that we had transferred over to DVD. She had a couple DVD players in the house, but I don't know how old they were because one of them they've had since before my dad died, and he's been gone 12 years. So I had to connect it with the old yellow, red, and white plugs. What do you call those kind of plugs? The AV plugs or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yes, the red, yellow.
The component
cables.
Component cables. Well, it wouldn't play. It would kind of play the new discs and it wouldn't. So anyway, I got her a couple of Blu-ray players because those have HDMI and she has nice TVs. So she needed the upgrade. So I was installing those too. And those were, I've never heard of this. They were smart DVD players. So now she can stream because they have wireless capability. So I hooked up Netflix on her DVD player.
What?
I don't know. You know how a smart TV has apps installed?
Yeah.
This DVD player has apps installed.
That's insane.
It's crazy. And the DVD player is only about 8 to 10 inches wide. It's very small. But I'm setting it up. I hook up the HDMI and I'm like, all right, let's see if this really works. And I had her wireless code. I put it in, logged in, boom. She's got Netflix. Now, I don't think she'll ever watch Netflix. But as I said to Molly, and I said to my mom, I go, maybe if somebody's staying over, they like Netflix, or I'll come and we'll teach you. Because like Dairy Girls, I think she would really like. It's a show about these 4 high school girls in Northern Ireland during the Troubles. It's very, very funny. Pick to click. So yes, so now she's for a woman who is very, very low tech, she's got high tech stuff, except I'm hooking it up and something happens and I end up hitting the medical alert box
Oh
and
no.
sending an alarm to the medical alert people. And I'm like, oh no. And I'm waiting and it's ringing and I'm like, oh God. And I'm like, hello, but the company name. Is everything okay? And I'm like, yes, I'm sorry. I was hooking something up. I accidentally hit the button. Everything is fine. So to clarify, you don't need any emergency assistance? No, we don't need emergency assistance. Really? Who am I talking to? And I give them my name, and I know my name is like the first on the emergency contacts. So if they put my name in, it's going to come up, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. So yeah, it was that was eventful. So this week I told her Debbie goes way down south past Kankakee every spring and fall to buy flowers at this farm because their pots of flowers are beautiful and they're much cheaper than buying them at like Home Depot or your local nursery.
Why didn't you tell? You're holding out on me with your flowers?
You want to go?
I want beautiful flowers.
All right, you come down and get some beautiful flowers.
Down south, yonder Kankakee.
Yeah, we get down there in God's country. And so we're going down there. And I said, you know what beer my mom loves.
The Pollyanna Brewing something.
Summerly. Yep.
Summerly.
So I said to Debbie, I go, what if we take her to Pollyanna? We're going out there Saturday. We have to drive by her house. We'll pick her up. I'll see if she wants to go to Pollyanna. I checked. They got a food truck that's going to be there, and they've enlarged their patio and all this. And I don't think I've seen my mom this happy at any of the births of any of my brothers as when I said, hey, would you want to go to Pollyanna next week and drink some? Because I brought her a couple 4-packs of Summerly when we went to the house. I was like, how'd you like to go drink it right out of the tap? She was like, yes, I'm in. Okay, let's go.
Hang on. How many? You were at the births of your brothers?
Well, I remember the face when she brought him home.
Oh, that's a little different.
All right. I've never seen her this happy of anything I've accomplished.
There you go.
Is that better?
That tracks. That makes sense.
That does.
Wow. Well,
so next Saturday, man, we're going to be Memorial Day weekending with an 85-year-old woman at a brewery. It's going to be a party. She's very excited that she can do a flight. She wants to do a flight to try all different kinds of beers.
What the hell? Why not? That sounds great. Yeah, I'll be out of town, so I can't join to get flowers, but I appreciate the invite.
I'll give you the info if you and the family ever want to take a ride down south. I also have another invite for you, but your world is so busy. You were all right. Did you get a cheesesteak last week?
I did. Hold on, I'm looking at my schedule. Yeah, I am. This weekend I'm out of town. Next weekend I'm out of town. Weekend after that I've got a bachelor party. Weekend after that's a wedding. Yeah, I'm booked till after Juneteenth.
All right. But we'll have ice cream on Juneteenth.
I'm gonna have ice cream at that time.
We'll have ice cream.
Sure. Yeah, no.
We still got that wine tasting, but that's a weekday, a Thursday night. Remember that?
Is that on my calendar? What day is that?
It's June. It's a Thursday. I'll have to ask Debbie. She said, remind Cody. I said, all right, I will.
Yeah, I need a reminder. What do you do? It's not on my
the 16th, maybe?
No, I think it's at the what is it? Hold on.
I think it's the 16th.
No. Yeah, it's not on my calendar. Yeah, yes, remind me, please.
All right, I just did.
We're very serious about our calendaring.
You are crazy busy. So all right, so you went to Philly for a big wedding.
Well, but first, speaking of the calendar, we should update at the end of the show too. But a programming update. We're off the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
Because next week I will be recovering from my Memorial Day nerd festivities.
Oh, that's right. That's this weekend.
Yeah, and then the following week I'll be in Boston seeing Paul McCartney.
Wait, you're going out there just to see Paul McCartney?
Wait, didn't I tell you this?
No. Wait, what? You're going to the East Coast to see a Beatle?
I absolutely told this story on the podcast. It was about Mother's Day.
Hold
on.
I don't think so.
When was Mother's Day?
Mother's Day was a couple weeks ago. 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I talked about it last week. I'm sure. Put it in the chat if I told the Paul McCartney story. I'm 100% sure.
I don't think so. I would have put that in the breakdown.
How
the summary of the cast.
That's impossible. What did we talk about last week? I didn't even know.
Last week was we talked about bug and my foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't tell us any Paul McCartney story.
No, I totally did. Mike said that I mentioned McCartney last week.
What?
No, long story short, I got for Mother's Day, my wife, my beautiful, lovely wife she's been saying she doesn't want the only Beatles she ever saw live to be Ringo because he was awful. And
Okay.
well, the other two are dead, so that leaves Paul.
Correct.
And Paul's got a tour. He's not coming anywhere near here.
Oh.
And we're busy all the dates that he was going to go on tour, except for 2 dates. And it's June 6th and 7th or 7th and 8th or whatever. It's Tuesday and a Wednesday. He's playing 2 nights in a row at Fenway Park.
Oh my gosh.
And I said, you know what? You only live once.
You do.
My wife wants to go. I have spent $1,000 on concert tickets before, going to Guns N' Roses in Seattle, flying out there, renting an RV, made a whole thing of it. You know, it's like, what? She deserves that. Why do I get to fly us across the whole country to see Guns N' Roses and she doesn't get to see Paul McCartney? So I got some tickets for the Tuesday night, sold out, Fenway Park, and we're going to see Paul McCartney.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
And you get to be in Fenway Park.
That's what she said.
Yeah, it's one of the oldest ballparks in the country. The Green Monster is there. That'll be cool. You get to Yankee Way. That's the street right outside, the whole deal.
Yeah. We've been listening to Paul McCartney on Spotify because, you know, she's like, I should get used to and I should familiarize myself with Paul McCartney's solo career. I'm sure there's not that many albums. Turns out he's released an album every 2 years since like 1967.
Yeah, he's I saw Paul pre-pandemic. We saw him in Tinley Park, and it was great.
Nice.
It was we were sitting there going, "Oh my God, there's a Beatle." This guy's a legend. And he tells, like, when we saw him that tour, he was telling some story. You know, he'd do a couple songs, he'd tell a little story. It was like watching your really cool grandpa tell you stories, and not about back in my day we had spats. No, he's talking about, you know, hanging out with John Lennon and doing this and, you know, meeting these people. And it's like, he's the coolest grandpa ever. And he's got this band that's really tight. They're really good. And you'll have a good time.
Thanks. I'm very, very excited. She's very excited. She was like, well, now I went pretty big, right? Like that's going pretty big.
Yeah.
Flying out like Monday. So my Marta in the chat asked where my son is staying. My folks are going to watch him. So my mom kind of gets a built-in Mother's Day present because they always
the baby. Yeah.
Yeah. So they, you know, whatever, like, hey, you're kind of a favor, but you get to see the grandson. So we're dropping him off on Monday. We fly out Monday night, get in late, stay at a hotel, got all day Tuesday, hang around Boston, go see him Tuesday night. And then we just fly back Wednesday morning. So
nice.
Quick trip, not a lot going on, but we'll check out a couple. If anybody
have some chowder.
Know any good spots near Fenway Park? We're staying at a hotel like a mile away. We can walk.
Oh,
to
is
the
that
park.
right? Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. I'm very excited. And it'll be our first time away from the baby in a while.
Okay.
Because this past weekend we went to a wedding in Pennsylvania. And the plan was we were going to drop off my son Thursday at my folks' place and then go to O'Hare, fly out Thursday night, hang out Friday, saw some family in Philadelphia Friday. That was very nice. Had a cheesesteak, had 2 cheesesteaks. Actually.
Did you? Good. How were they? Did you like them?
Oh my God. I had a regular cheesesteak for lunch. And then for dinner, I had a cheesesteak with pepperoni.
Oh.
Do that.
Sounds fancy.
Do that. It's like a thing they do now. They put the pepperoni on the bottom alongside the bun. Then they put the cheesesteak on top of it. So when you bite in, you get the pepperoni, that little spice at the end. And it is to die for.
That sounds really good.
And it was from Wawa. So it wasn't even like.
Dude, how much do you love Wawa?
Wawa
is the greatest. If I had like franchise money, I would buy a Wawa. It's Imagine for the people who have never been to Wawa, and I know I've talked about Wawa before. Imagine the best 7-Eleven you can, and then throw that imagination out because you're not even close to a
Yeah.
Wawa. Hot sandwiches, the best coffee and donuts, a wall of soda pop choices for you in the fountain. Yeah. Oh, I'm so happy you got to a Wawa. Plus
Oh
gas.
yeah. Oh yeah. A fresh hot made to order food. I mean, it was amazing.
Oh, a Wawa cheesesteak. That's a good. Ooh,
Yeah.
man.
Now, Mike asked a very relevant question: whiz or
Yes.
real cheese? I think it was real. I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't real picky about the cheese at both places.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what I mean, I know there's a difference, and I know people are very, it's like being in Chicago, the no ketchup on a hot dog thing. People in Philly are very set in their ways about one or the other. I think
Mm.
Whiz might be the one, like the go-to.
I think it's the one they prefer, but
Yeah,
I didn't really specify. So it's whatever they gave me.
you just got it.
Um, yeah.
Well, the
So
hater, you know what haters would say? You were eating a gas station Philly or a gas station cheesesteak. And I would say, go screw yourself. It's Wawa. That doesn't even count as a gas station.
dude, with the pepperonis on it, it was so good. I didn't even care.
Yeah. No, their sandwiches are great. I had one that was when we were out in New York getting Molly. I had one that was turkey and dressing and a whole thing. And it was like, oh my, it was like Thanksgiving dinner on a roll. Oh man. I would have punched a baby in the face to get another one.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, that's right. I'll punch a baby for a sandwich.
And hopefully nowhere else. So cheesesteaks, check and mate. Saw my uncle, his place is great. But let me get back to the zoom out. And why
Yes.
I'm so extra excited now about Paul McCartney is because we could drop my kid off Thursday and pick him up Sunday when we got back. Well, Wednesday night at 10:30 at night, I get a text from my mom.
Uh-oh.
Dad has COVID. Give us a call.
No.
And my
Give
dad
us
is
a call.
fine. My dad's fine. My dad
Okay,
is
thank
fine.
God. Thank
Everyone's
God.
fine.
Good.
But I called and I'm like, so Dad has COVID. And she's like, yeah. So we're not really comfortable. He's fine. He was congested. It didn't feel good, but it wasn't totally asymptomatic, but wasn't sick, right?
Okay.
Now, also keep in mind, my mom is recovering from hip surgery.
Oh no.
Yeah. So she had that like a few weeks ago, and that's a
Okay.
process, right?
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
you know, she's getting around. I think she's recovering pretty well, but there's still, you know, it's a hip surgery.
Yeah.
They're extremely intense. You know, so we're like, look, even if we separated and my mom didn't have it, the COVID.
Okay.
So he's got it. And it's like, well, he could go lock himself up in half of the house, but my mom can't pick up my son. He's 30
Right.
pounds.
Right. And your son wants to see grandpa.
Oh my God. Yes.
Isn't he his favorite person?
He is absolutely his favorite person.
Yeah.
So, yes, they've had all the shots and boosters, Sally. So, you know,
Yeah.
fortunately, extra protection. And so that's why it was really mild, but it was, you know, COVID's
He's
COVID.
still there. Yeah.
They
Right.
didn't want to give it to him and, you know, then him give it to me and my wife and whatever. So it's
God.
like, okay, all right, you're not comfortable. I get it. You don't want to, you know, it's just,
Yeah.
so
I think that was very responsible of them
of
to
course.
say that, you know?
So my thinking was, well, what if my son has COVID and we don't? Then could we just drop him off? Because the in-home transmission rate is really low, right? Like my dad had it, but not my mom. Previously, my wife has had it, but I didn't. There are other people that have had it, and their people in the room hadn't. And my son had a sniffly nose. So I'm like, why don't we COVID test my son?
Oh.
And if he's positive, then we can COVID test ourselves. And if we're negative, then technically we could just drop him off. Now, this is a stupid plan. It's
Okay.
half-baked.
I'm glad. Thank you for saving me the effort.
This is a stupid plan and it's insane. And it really makes no sense because CDC guidelines still
Right.
say if you were exposed to someone not to travel.
Yes.
So even if he tested positive and we didn't, we still technically shouldn't travel.
Should be,
And
yeah,
I'm
you
like,
should be on a plane.
I'm like,
But
let's
desperate times call for desperate measures.
I know. And everyone, everyone in Illinois. My mom was like, everyone in Rockford has it right now. Just everywhere. It's spreading like wildfire right now.
Yeah.
So I'm
No,
like,
you're wrong. It's over. I don't know if
that's
you.
tr- that's-
It's over. It's fake. It's not
forgot about
happening.
that.
I don't
That's
know why
right.
your dad is being such a snowflake.
I know.
He
Well,
has
he
an
yeah.
imaginary disease.
Well, we were going to celebrate, but they were all out of Juneteenth ice cream, so there was no celebration.
All right. Well, good. And I know you guys won't eat the Pride ice cream. All right, so you're canoodling the craziest plan to get to Philly without your son. Did you think? And you don't want to take him with because he's a fun kid, love him, but he's a party pooper after a certain amount of time.
Well, I think anyone hearing this knows if you have a kid and if you're planning on going to a wedding and being out of town for 3 days without a 30-pound, 20-month-old, that is a very different weekend experience than traveling with a 30-pound, 20-month-old.
Right.
And we ended up doing the latter because we COVID tested him. And what were our options?
How do you keep that thing up his nose?
Well, we drove to the pharmacy to get it and kept him in the car seat. And I kept his head still and she put the swab in, but it doesn't have to go as deep in small children. It's not like,
his eyes didn't cross, did they?
No,
he didn't poke his brain so hard that he went cross-eyed.
No, he cried a little bit. It wasn't that bad, but yeah, we just didn't really have any options because like our nanny is actually in the process of moving her like 90-some-year-old mother to this area. So she's like around her all the time. It's like, well, we can't give you a little snot-nosed,
snot-nosed
lunatic.
baby.
You were in foot surgery recovery.
Yes.
So I wasn't going to be like, hey, Brian Noonan, I know you just finished substitute teaching school, but can I drop off my kid? Can he just hang out for 3 days? Maybe
I would have showed him the pin. I would have showed him the pin.
Yeah, no, maybe
don't step on my foot, little baby Cody.
Maybe Debbie would have been into the idea, but like, no, it was a Thursday too, so people still have to work Friday, so there was just no option. So he came along with, and was he's a great.
He is a very. I think we could all. Well, we could all. You and I will agree with you wholeheartedly. He's a fantastic kid, but he's still 20 months old, and you wanted to go to a wedding, and now let me ask you this. And maybe you were going to get to this, and I'm jumping ahead. Since you were going out there and there were some family members in the area, were you able to find like a babysitter for the night of the wedding?
No, because my family was in Philadelphia, about a half, like Glenside, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Northern side of Philly, like just in the north. And this wedding was about 45 minutes west of Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
And our flight left at 8:30 in the morning Sunday. So we would have had to pick him up at like it would have just made Sunday insane. So and my aunt and uncle, they don't, they had a couple of kids, but they don't have any crib or any of that set up. So I could have bought him a pack and play and begged him to do it, and my aunts probably would have been like okay, but they're whatever. They're retired.
Do they have? Did they have like babysitters at the hotel? A concierge, so you go, can you grab me a nanny?
Oh man, that would have been cool. No, we just brought him. I mean, it was a kid-friendly wedding. It's
okay.
And that's the thing. We knew it was a backup option. So like the baby's welcome. Well, we're just gonna leave him. And she called the bride the day before. JK, we're gonna bring the kid. Is that fine? Well, there had been a couple wedding cancellations because of COVID.
Sure.
And so we're like, well, my son will eat the meal.
Oh yeah, he will.
And he did, because he's a beast.
What do you have, a little filet?
He ate like a whole thing of chicken. Like he eats as much as I do. It's insane. This morning he ate a full bagel, just like a whole bagel, and then like an egg, and then went back to bed for 3.5 hours.
And then woke up and lifted the engine out of the car.
He woke up and had half a fillet of salmon. And it's just like,
wow.
I think the only reason he wakes up as early as he does is because he needs more food.
Right, because he's hungry. Well, that's not going to get easier once he's a teenage boy.
Oh my God.
You better get another fridge for the basement if you don't already have one, because you got the beer fridge in the garage, but you're going to need another one just to keep sides of beef for this young man.
So his new thing is he no longer sleeps on planes until we get to the landing.
Oh, that makes sense.
So I was crawling around, yelling, throwing stuff, kicking, talking, chatting, and then like, oh, we're getting our descent, or 30 going down a mile, and then he's done. Game over. So we land and they turn on the lights, and then like American Airlines on the way back, there's the loudspeaker is just like, it's just like screaming at you. It's like, welcome to welcome. Thank you for flying American Airlines. I'm gonna go to get like that hurt to even for me to say.
It hurt me to hear it.
Loud. All right, let me get your take.
Yes.
You've traveled a lot, Brian.
I have.
The first night, we just wanted a cheap hotel right next to the airport. So I got to get your take on this. And I'm listing off the name. I'm like, there's like 6 right by the airport. Which one do you want? And as soon as I name this one, she goes, oh, let's stay there. I love this hotel. Love it every time. And there's a ton of space. And you always get the bedroom is separate from the living area. So you can actually close the door and keep the baby in the next room, which is key.
Okay. Embassy Suites.
Sorry, Mike. Didn't mean to blow out your ears. That was pretty horrific. Ding, ding, ding. Embassy Suites.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about Embassy Suites?
I've stayed in Embassy Suites before. I enjoy them. I like, normally if you're staying, if you get there early, they have a cocktail hour, or like a wine thing in the evening for guests in the lobby where you can get a glass of wine or a beer. I like you're exactly right. When you're traveling with children's, you can close the door just like at home. They can have their little thing. If you're feeling amorous because you're on vacation, and we all know hotel sex is better than sex at home. You can close the door and you don't, the kid's not sitting there at the end of the bed going, what is dad doing to mom? Mm-hmm. If you're looking for cheap, they're not, they're kind of mid-range, but not overly expensive, affordable, and you get a nice breakfast in the morning. So yeah, I'm all behind Embassy Suites. Somehow I'm wondering if you did not have that experience. I've never stayed though at an airport Embassy Suites. I've stayed at suburban Embassy Suites or Mall of America adjacent Embassy Suites, but never right at the airport.
$150.
That's good.
A mile, like half a mile from the airport, dude. I enjoyed it so much. Yeah. I kind of want to just go to a local Embassy Suites instead of spend the night. Yeah,
they're nice. Nothing. Now, I'm sure there's people who go, oh, that's yeah, just screw you. It's nice. It's great. There's plenty of room, which is terrific. Yes. I like that I can sit, if I want to sit and watch TV and have a beer, I'm not on my bed. Then I get up and I walk into the bedroom, just like a real house. Plus, I just like the feeling of a suite. Even if it's a tiny, even if it's an embassy suite and not the presidential suite at the Ritz, it's still a suite. And to me, that's the coolest part. Like we've stayed at the Country Inn and Suites a few times. We stayed at a different Spring Hill Suites in New Orleans a lot. And I enjoy it every time. I enjoy having the bedroom over there and a little sitting area over here. It's very nice.
I love it. One of my favorite things is it feels like you're at a party the whole time because of the big open middle area.
Yeah. Oh, in the hotel, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because it's built in like a circle or a rectangle, mm-hmm. and the whole middle is open. And it's like the old holodomes.
Those what?
Holodomes, when they used to make Holiday Inn did a big thing where they had holodomes. A lot of hotels would have them where the rooms would be around the outside and then they'd enclose like the pool area. And then you could go in there and, there's like a little putt-putt green and there's the pool and there's maybe, checkerboard or a shuffleboard. And then it's like you're at a little resort and you're in the middle of Wisconsin.
I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
I love the like 24-hour feel because we got in at like 1. We got there to the hotel at like 2 a.m.
Good Lord. No wonder he was falling asleep when you landed.
Well, the plane took off at 8:30. His bedtime is 7. So one would think, since he has slept on, this was his 7th round trip flight. Somehow, you would think that he would be tired an hour and a half, 2 hours past his bedtime when we take off, but no. And then he's up. Then we get in the airport. Then we get in the little shuttle to go there. He's wide awake the whole time. He's wide awake till it's crazy. But we get in at like 2 a.m. and I look down and there's the big like restaurant area. There's all the little like couches. There's one dude sitting on the couch just chilling on his phone. There's a table with like 5 people just sitting there talking.
Yeah.
And they didn't have badges. There's no conference. It's just like a nonstop party. I love it.
It's a great place. We've done it for a couple weddings where like the whole family will stay there.
Oh, yeah.
And it's great because then you can go down in that. It's not even a lobby. It's whatever the socializing area is. And yeah, you can pull tables together and you can sit down there and you can talk. And because it's so big, it's not like you're sitting right outside somebody's room and they're going to call security. You can sit down there and, and hang with everybody.
Yeah.
So where do you at 2 in the morning? You probably just go to bed, right? Because I don't think they have a bar that's open that late in the hotel.
No,
I'm always looking for a drink when I get into town. That's not true. Usually I'm just looking for the bed.
Oh man, and I didn't tell you about the bus ride from hell.
Oh no, you took a bus?
Oh
no.
How did I not lead with this? All right.
Yeah. Because you knew you had to soften me up so I wouldn't be as harsh about the fact that you were on a bus. Were you on a bus with your family?
My son. Here's what happened.
Oh no.
Saturday is wedding day. My wife is in the wedding party, so she's gone. She's bridesmaid.
She got things to do.
Look beautiful, things to do. I'm watching the kid, hanging out. It's a good time. The hotel at near the wedding. Not, the Embassy Suites was the airport hotel for getting in late. This is a different hotel, same bedroom as the baby, just a
hotel. Yeah.
You shove the pack and play halfway in the closet, give him a little space. It's fine.
No.
So I'm hanging out there and get him a nap, and then I get him dressed and we're good. And they're like, all right, a shuttle is going to pick you up at 3. And then the shuttle is going to go to the other hotel, 3:30. And then I'll get to the wedding site. And weddings at 4.
Oh, that's very nice that they had transportation for the guests. I think so far I'm in favor of this.
Sure. So my wife has the rental car at this point, so that's why. So a coach bus pulls up. Giant, 100-something seater coach bus.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I put my son in his car seat. I just took the car seat because you don't know what shuttle means. Does it mean a 6-seater van? Does it? I don't know.
A little streetcar kind of thing, one of those, or
is it named Desire? I don't know. You tell me.
No, I don't desire to ride it either way, but go ahead.
Maybe it's a clown car.
It sounds like it may be based on your lead of the story, but so you take the car. Does the car seat fit in the bus seat?
I just kind of sit it there. Yeah, it doesn't really buckle in, but I just kind of wedged it. Does how many seats are in a coach bus like that?
Oh boy, quite a few. I'm gonna guess 60, 80, maybe.
Yeah. Sounds right.
Yeah.
So let's park them in the front seat, hang out. Cool, we're good to go. All right, 3:00. I'm there 5 to 3. Great, hanging out. All right, 3:05, 3:10, 3:15. The bus driver's just like, I can't find all the guests. Now, this hotel has one entrance. The bus is directly in front of it. It is literally impossible to leave the hotel without walking directly past.
I was going to say I know how big those buses are, and they're kind of hard to miss.
Mm-hmm. So we're now running 15 minutes late. There are only 10 people from this hotel getting on the bus. So fine.
So besides you and the baby, how many are on already?
Everyone was on, like immediately. He just decided he didn't know. No one had told him how many people to expect. So I guess he just figured I'll wait around 15 minutes. Fine. So, and I should have said something after 5, like, hey, we got to schedule,
hey, man.
I'm just kind of, playing with my baby, just kind of doing my own thing. All right. So we finally take off. And then we get to the other hotel at like 10 to 4 or so.
Oh,
maybe around there somewhere, probably a little
Uh,
bit before that.
How far are you from the wedding venue?
It's like probably 15 minutes or so. So we're not running,
Oh.
it's like maybe so the wedding, by the way, and the reception, the whole all of it was at the groom's family farm.
Oh,
So they can completely control the venue, right? They
okay.
just the photographer's timetable and the catering, they just want that to line up closely.
And I'm sure your wife would like you and the baby to be on time for the wedding.
Oh yeah. So we get to the second location and everyone's standing outside and they get on. And the first thing one of the people says is like, this is all of us. This is all of us. We got to go. We got to go. We got to get started. Okay.
We got to go.
Okay. I get it. All right. So there's only like 20 of it. It's a very empty bus, but we all on the bus. And so he takes a turn out onto the road. We get like about a mile away. And I can see his GPS, and the GPS has him take it's like, all right, next you're going to turn right, then turn left, then turn left, then turn left again. Basically make a U-turn
Oh, wow.
because he's going the wrong way down this
Oh,
road.
no.
So this is a giant coach bus. This is Pennsylvania. He turns off the road. He turns into a residential neighborhood. He turns onto a one-lane road that is about a 40-degree incline. And there is a sign that says no trucks. Like there's a picture of a truck with an X on it. And he turns up and starts going up this extremely steep hill.
Oh, no.
He's driving through tree branches because the branches are low. And power lines are hitting the bus.
Oh, my God.
You can hear and see the power lines, and the bus is now driving under dragging power lines from above. So it gets to the
Are you sending texts to your family telling them you love them?
I'm just like, this guy's a Navy veteran, has been driving a bus for a long time. I assume he knows what he's doing.
How do you know that? He told you that?
Yeah, his little hat. All veterans have hats.
They do. And I hope that when they're wearing them, they're not stolen valor. I hope that they actually did serve, and this guy was just not, trying to get some extra tips from the passengers. Going, you know what I'm going to do? I'm stealing my buddy's Navy cap to see if I can get a little tip.
He looked like he was in Nam or something.
Okay, I'm going to say this too. The Navy deals with boats, not buses.
Oh,
naval aviators, aircraft carriers. I watched Top Gun. I watched Officer and a Gentleman. There were no buses in either one of those films. If you had been boarding an aircraft carrier to go to the wedding, I would have had total confidence in this guy. If you were going to be Goose to his Maverick, well, I wouldn't want you to be Goose to his Maverick, because then you would have been ejected and hit by the canopy. But just because he has a Navy hat on, like, I don't know, maybe an Army vet, they have a lot of big vehicles that travel on land.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go, okay. Air Force, same thing. I'm not going to, you're not driving buses in the Air Force. You're flying. So Navy and Air Force, I'm going to be a little like, I respect their service 100%. But I don't know if it's going to instill confidence when driving a bus under power lines.
What if he drove a big boat through a forest?
Then I'd really not trust him, because you shouldn't have a boat in the forest.
What about Vietnam? A jungle. There you go.
Oh, a jungle? All right.
Got to avoid trees. You got a big boat in the river somewhere.
Did you ask him if this was? Did you ask him if that was his history, his pedigree? Sir, do you have a lot of experience driving buses under power lines?
I didn't interrogate it because at this point,
because he was white knuckling it and not. He was like a dad who was going through a snowstorm. Shut up! Don't make me stop! Shut up!
Well, at this point, there was a woman who was sitting in the row behind me, who decided that the best way to handle this situation was to become hysterical and start to loudly say, "Oh no, don't turn here. Oh no, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't sign up for this. Oh, this isn't what I need. Oh my God, I'm scared. Are we gonna make it? I didn't sign up for this. Loudly saying this in the third row of the coach bus, all of which the driver can hear.
Did you turn around and slap her?
So I
Shake
didn't
her and
look.
go, get a hold of yourself, woman.
I did not look back. I was like, I was playing with my baby.
How was the baby handling this? Was he stressed at all?
He didn't care.
No, he was on a bus. He was having a ball.
He was having a great time. So we're going up. I'm not exaggerating. This was at least it was like a 40-degree incline. It was absurdly steep. So
Jesus.
we go by a couple, and this is a 1-lane street. There's a couple cars kind of parked on the side.
No.
I feel like he's going to hit a pickup truck. There's like 3 places where he can turn right, and the GPS is telling him turn right. Blows past the first turn, turn right, blows past that turn. He just keeps blowing past these turns till he gets, and maybe it was turn left. I don't remember, but he gets to the top of the hill and he turns left because it stops basically the hill.
Yeah, because it's a cliff.
He's at the top of the hill. We are now hundreds of feet above road level.
Sea level.
At the thing, he turns left. This is when the power lines really actually start like literally dragging on the bus.
Oh my God.
And he goes a little bit and he goes down like 2 blocks and there's a very steep incline back down, a couple streets down.
Well, sure, you could, if you go up at some point, you got to come back down.
This was steeper. Like it probably was a legit 45 degrees. And he starts to turn left in this gigantic bus dragging a power line. And I legit thought there's no way. Like gravity, there's no way.
Yeah.
You cannot,
physics is not going to work in our favor.
You cannot turn down this road. The woman starts getting more hysterical, and a guy finally runs up, and the bus driver does abort the mission a little bit into the turn. We start to kind of teeter off, and then he's like, this is a bad idea, and he backs up. The guy walks up to the front. He's like, sir, and starts trying to reason with him. And the bus driver just looks at the GPS, hits a couple buttons. The passenger is like, do you need help knowing where you're going? You can't be going down this hill. The bus driver opens the door and walks off the bus without saying a word. He just gets off the bus. He just parks it and gets off. So,
are you calling him a deserter?
So we're all on a stopped bus on the top of a hill outside of like these tiny homes, like the size of like a little over a trailer size.
I'm picturing this like in The Grinch where the sled was teetering on the top of Mount Crumpet.
Mm-hmm. You're not wrong, but it's a coach bus that weighs like 20 million tons. So now we have no bus driver. The door is open and there's power lines on the roof of it. And we're just sitting there and there's a woman behind me talking about how we're all going to die and she didn't sign up for this.
This is where you're, to circle all the way back to the beginning. This is where you don't need to know all the details. Like your baby, he didn't care. He wasn't following the news. He was just sitting there going, hey man, I'm on a bus with my dad. We're going somewhere. I don't know. We'll see mom. This is cool. He didn't know. So he was happy. The woman behind you, she watches too much news.
Yeah. So the bus driver gets back on, starts messing with the GPS, does not say a word to anybody, doesn't look at the passenger. The passenger is like, can you respond? Do you need help? We've been to this place before. Do you whatever? Doesn't say a word. And then he just starts driving again. We're like, okay. And the passenger is I don't know, not older guy, but probably like in his early 50s, handlebar mustache.
That's trouble right there.
Like waxed handlebar mustache.
Sit down, Wyatt Earp.
The bus driver goes down a couple more blocks till the end of this top road and then does make a left turn where it's less steep. It's like 30 to 35 degree incline and makes the turn, and we get down the hill and he makes the left. And about 10 minutes later, we go past the hotel where we picked up the passengers previously. So at this point, it is 4:30.
Oh my God.
The wedding ceremony was 4. And it turns out that the hysterical woman was the bride's mother.
Oh no. All right,
So
she has every reason to be hysterical.
we're so
Every reason to be hysterical.
we're just at this point.
Now, are you in an? I'm also guessing that you're in an area with no cell reception. That
Pretty
would be the
much.
capper on this, where there's
Oh,
so
of course.
nobody knows where you are.
Oh no. What I hear about 3 people on the phone in the back talking to various people at the wedding site, wondering where the hell are the like. And the worst part is it's only like 15 or 16 people. Like it's not a huge portion of the wedding
Well,
party,
right, but one is the mother of the bride. That's a pretty big. That's a pretty big role.
right? Yeah,
Nobody's getting married. If your mom is supposed to be on the bus coming to the ceremony, you're not getting married without your mom there.
yeah. So the driver eventually gets us there, and they're like, he kind of pulls up to stop where the ceremony is, and they're like, should he pull forward a little more to drop us closer to the whatever site? And at this point, the people are just being like, no, I don't trust him, like
Yeah, get
loudly
out.
saying this. So everyone just kind of evacuates the bus, and the ceremony started a little closer to 5. The officiant shortened the ceremony significantly to get the festivities going, and it all worked out.
Now, what
So
about going? I know your wife was there with the rental car, but did they have the shuttle bus going back?
the shuttle bus was going to go back.
Same guy?
Same guy.
Oh God.
Because this was the middle of nowhere. Like the nearest hotel was 15 to 20 minutes on like rural Pennsylvania roads.
Oh God.
And ours was like 25 minutes away, and that was the next closest. So there's like nowhere to stay.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I opted out of the return trip with the bus because
I don't blame you.
I had a car seat and a rental car,
Yeah.
and my wife, and we were good. We were good with
That's
that.
that makes much more sense. I think that's the way to play it.
Yeah.
That you don't have to that you don't have to worry about that. No. Oh God. See, this is why I don't take public transportation, even shuttle buses. The only time I had something where I knew the guy was going the wrong way was coming to your wedding.
Oh.
We got in the Uber, and I've driven all over this city for decades. I knew where your wedding was. This is when we were living in Berwyn. He started going north on Ogden. And I'm like, all right, well, here he's probably just going to go up to Central, and then he's going to make a turn. He's going to get on the expressway so we can swing. He's going to get on 55. We'll swing down, and that'll be that. And he passes that on Ogden, and I'm like, I'm watching, and I'm watching his map, and it's going north toward the loop. And finally, I was already nervous because I was officiating, and I'm
Right.
in the back with my notes, and I know I got to be on time. And we left plenty early, and he's going the wrong way, and it was hot, and in the car, and I just, ugh. And finally I go, man, where are you going? He goes, I'm following the map. I go, the wedding venue is by the Museum of Science and Industry. You're heading north into the loop. You're going the wrong way. We need to get to 55, and we need to head south. Oh, really? I'm like, yeah, turn here, head down this way, go here. He's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, whatever. That's fine. Debbie still tipped him well, but I was like, yeah, if that's why I have to drive everywhere. Like that bus trip, you described it. I have anxiety just hearing that story.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine me on that bus.
But you know what? I would take an Uber over a taxi cab any day now.
Would you really?
You know why? We got back
Why?
from, well, I told you the story when we got back from Albuquerque late at night, and I looked at the little cab thing, and it's like
Yes.
cab to Lombard, $60, and then we ended up paying $100.
Yeah.
Same thing happened here. So I went to order an Uber when we landed at 12:30 in the morning. Of course, the Embassy Suites website is like 24-hour shuttle. So I call. I'm like, hey, do you have a shuttle? They're like, no, that stops at 10. I'm like, website says 24 hours. They're like, well, it stops at 10. Okay. So.
Well, I don't care what the website says. I'm a human, and I'm telling you, we only go till 10.
Yeah. So I look up Uber. Uber's like $12. I'm like, cool. It's literally a mile, right?
Okay.
But we've got a baby with us. We don't really feel like waiting. And there's a cab sitting there. So I'm like, let's get in the cab. So we go over, we tell them we're going. My mistake. I did not say how much. So we put all the luggage in the car. We put the car seat in the car. We're all set. And we sit down and he's like, it'll be $25 to go 1 mile. And I'm like, why is it $25? He's like, because I've been waiting here for 2 hours without giving a ride. It's
That's not
bullshit.
my fault.
It's complete bullshit. Like, he just
Yeah.
ripped us off. And this happens all the time. And it's a completely unregulated industry and they don't care. And this is like the 3rd time in a row I've been ripped off by a
Wow.
cab driver. And I'm sorry, cabbies. Like, we had some great cab drivers call in on our radio show, Taxi Driver Bob. There's a lot of great cabbies on the road, but there's too many really shitty ones. And you make cabs terrible and it's completely unregulated. And Uber, if I have any issue with the route they take, I can tap one button and I'm guaranteed a refund. And it's like, they don't jack up the price. They don't try and rip you off. And most of all, they don't see you put a 2-year-old in the back seat and then think to themselves, I can charge them whatever they want because they just want to get to where they want to go.
Yeah.
So I'm done with cabs. I will not take a cab. If I have to wait 25 minutes for an Uber, I'll wait. I'm not taking any more cabs.
And I remember you telling me that story, and I said, I'll say the same thing now that I did then. I've never had that problem with a cab like at the New Orleans airport. Only because that's the only time I take cabs really is at the airport. And it's clearly posted on the window, and that is the price you pay, and everything is dandy. So, man, that sucks. Oh yeah, well, he knows he's got you. It's 12:30 in the morning. You're traveling with an infant. You're going to pay whatever whatever he gouges you to get to your hotel so you can put the baby to bed and get on with your life. And he knows you're going to the embassy suite, so you're a high roller. You're a baller. You're going to the suites. And if you were going to the La Quinta, probably would have been about $15. Because he'd go, this guy's, look at this poor sap. He's traveling with his baby in his baby bed, and he's staying at the La Quinta. But no, you're going big. To the suites.
Yeah, dude.
Sorry. All right. Yeah, take your Ubers. I'm not I don't know what it is about. One, I'm a control freak. Two, I just don't like I'm a horrible passenger. And I don't like the ride shares that they jack the prices up and they surge price them, and if it rains, you're screwed and this and that, and I don't know. And I don't like, and that doesn't say I'm all about cabs either. I just would rather stay home.
I'd hop a cab in the city if I'm on my own or with my wife and I got to get somewhere. Like in Boston, I'll hop a cab, maybe. But
if
not
you need
with
to,
not with a child and not from the airport. The airport cabbies are the ones that are ripping me up.
That's what they know.
In Cancun, happened to us. I mean, every airport.
Yeah, and why should you care if he sat there for 2 hours? Then how about you hit the streets?
Yeah.
Hit the streets of Philly, make some money. Don't just sit here at the airport like a Yahoo and then take it out on a guy who only has to go a mile. That's not your fault. Idiot. All right, let me give you this. Here's a little piece of good news. Last week we went and saw Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird.
I didn't know we had a bow tie theater review.
We do. I did not wear a bow tie because I was still in the surgical shoe. I wore jeans and a shirt. Even our friend Paul Lisnick, who always wore bow ties, the last few times he's not been wearing bow ties. He's casualing it up. Saw Steve Dow pimping for the radio station we used to work at in a hat and jacket with the call letters on it. Always good to see Steve. Saw Dean Richards and George, his friend that we've met many times. So Dean and George were there. And so it was nice to see all them. And this is embarrassing. I may be one of the 24 people in this country who have never read To Kill a Mockingbird. Never read To Kill a Mockingbird, never saw the movie To Kill a Mockingbird. I knew about Atticus Finch. I knew he was the main character. I knew his kid was Scout, and I knew Boo Radley. That's all I knew about it. Debbie, I find out, it was her favorite book in high school. So much so that she bought a long sleeve t-shirt with a saying on it. And I'd never seen her buy anything at a place. She saw this shirt. It's like, I'm buying a t-shirt. Like, okay, it's, you work hard for the money, so hard for it, honey. So she got herself a T-shirt and a To Kill a Mockingbird tote bag, which they were giving. Oh, Cody, they were giving a great deal on the tote bag. If you just bought the tote bag, it was $15. And by tote bag, I mean like reusable grocery bag. But if you bought something else, you could get the bag for $5.
$5?
$5
with the logo.
Oh, I guess, it's fantastic.
That's
I don't know
tight.
what the T-shirt cost. She didn't. She goes, boy, this T-shirt costs like you were going to a concert. I'm like, I figured it would. I don't, I'm not interested. Don't tell me the price. I don't care what the price is. Are you happy with the T-shirt? She said, yeah. And she wore it the other day. It's very nice. The show was phenomenal. Richard Thomas, who, ironically, the only other drama we've seen produced brought in by Broadway in Chicago was The Humans. Who starred in The Humans? Richard Thomas. Who stars as Atticus Finch in Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird, now playing at the James Nederlander Theater? Richard Thomas. Now, have you read To Kill a Mockingbird?
I'm with you. I've not read it.
You haven't read it either?
No,
right.
no.
I have to find out why his children call him by his first name. That was the only thing I didn't understand. They all call him Atticus. Now, this was written by Aaron Sorkin. He adapted the book into the play. It's been a huge hit on Broadway. I know Jeff Daniels started as Atticus. Yes, Marta, John Boy Walton was Atticus Finch. And it was terrific. The whole cast was phenomenal. I loved the staging. It was one of those pretty bare stages, and things would roll out. Like the front porch of Atticus's house would come out in two pieces, and then that would go away. And then a very Spartan courtroom would come in with the bench for the judge and the tables and the one witness stand. And it proved very, very timely. Even though Harper Lee wrote this decades ago, this adaptation, because it had that Aaron Sorkin kind of dialogue to it, a little bit of humor thrown in. It proved very timely with some of the main case of this. See, I didn't even know the main case of the story was that a black man was accused of raping and beating a white woman in this story. And just the parallels of today's society, and it was wild how timely this was. And the actor was, they had I think the right term, and I apologize, they had a hearing impaired actor playing one of the parts, but it was not a thing. Like the character was not described as hearing impaired. But the actor was, and he did a phenomenal job. And there was some sign language, and he spoke a little, but some of the things, like as he was signing, the other actors would be saying things to him, and then he would verbalize some lines. And it was the first time he came out, I thought, is he acting? Like, is this a character choice that they wrote in? And then after like the first couple lines, I was like, oh no, this actor is hearing impaired, and it doesn't distract from anything. Once those first couple lines were done, it was like, oh, okay, I get it. That's, this is him. And he was good. Anthony Natali was his name. And he was very good. Very good. So it's only there for like another week. So if you get a chance, if you're looking for something to do this week, get to the James Nederlander's Theater, go see Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird starring John Boy Walton. I'm sure he doesn't want to be. And the last thing I saw him in was Ozark. He was in the last season of Ozark, and He was a creepy POS in the last season of Ozark. And I'm like, he's a good actor at John Boy Walton. Richard Thomas is a good actor. So it was such a switch from the Ozark character that we had just finished watching to Atticus Finch. It was terrific. And then So yeah, it's definitely worth seeing. It's definitely a 5 bow tie affair. Tomorrow night we are going to see Ain't Too Proud, the story of the Temptations at the Cadillac Palace. That's, I think, only there for 1 week, maybe 2.
Wow.
A lot of shows are coming in just for their pre-Broadway short tune-ups, and then they're taking off. So this is the national tour, and it was really, really good. So if you didn't catch it this time, if you don't get a chance and it comes back, I would definitely recommend. Even if you've never read the story, even if you never saw Gregory Peck as Atticus Finch, the play is phenomenal. And it makes me now, I kind of want to read the book or at least watch the movie.
Sure.
Because here's a little, I knew this much. I knew Robert Duvall played Boo Radley and had no lines in To Kill a Mockingbird. I think in this production, the man who plays Boo Radley had a couple lines, very short. What does my wife's shirt say? First think justice, or first something about justice. So it's something about justice.
Wow.
It's not all rise. There was a lot of stuff that said all rise. But yeah, so it was really good.
I wish I was in town to see it. Yeah, that sounds
I wish
great.
you had been in town as well. It was unusual to see a drama. Like I said, in all the years we've been lucky enough to go, and thank you to Broadway in Chicago, all the years we've been fortunate enough to go, this is only the second drama. Everything else is musicals. And that is not a complaint. It's just a statement of fact.
Yeah.
Because I love a good musical.
The Humans was incredibly good.
Humans was fantastic, intense. And what's weird is I've seen that, like, the movie is now running on either HBO or Showtime. There's a movie version of it.
Really?
Yeah, different cast than was in the play, but there's a movie version of the Humans.
I don't think that would work as well as the play.
It's very claustrophobic. They keep it in one. It's like maybe a little bigger apartment, maybe 2 rooms, instead of, like, when we saw the production, we saw it was 2 floors. Remember the apartment?
Yeah.
I think this is like a single floor but 2-room apartment. But it stays right in those walls. It doesn't, so it still has that same claustrophobic feel.
Interesting. So you watched it?
I watched part of it. And then I was like, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
I know this story.
The stage production was phenomenal.
Yeah,
phenomenal.
So we're looking forward to tomorrow night. But yeah, Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird, written by Aaron Sorkin, huge hit on Broadway. Now it's starting its national tour right here in Chicago. So definitely, if you get a chance this week, go. And it's at the Nederlander Theater, which, for my money, is the prettiest theater in Chicago. Cadillac Palace is gorgeous, but there's something about the Nederlander. It's a little bit smaller, a little bit more ornate. If you're new to Chicago, it used to be the Oriental Theater, if you hear that name thrown around. But yeah, Cody, best part for me, besides the fine production, the great acting, aisle seat. I had an aisle seat. Yes. Your mic went off. You were in such shock that you turned your mic off.
Oh,
it was
jackpot.
When I saw the tickets, and I was like, oh my God, I think I have an aisle seat. I was the happiest. And it was the aisle where my injured foot could sit out in the aisle during the performance.
Amazing.
I was like, the gods are smiling on me tonight. Everything was fantastic. The experience, the parking, except this is like the second time I've almost gotten in a fist fight in the parking lot trying to leave a theater production. And then I know we got to, because people in the garage aren't driving. The last time we went, somebody got to the gate and then couldn't figure out, and there was an attendant there. And instead of just helping them or letting them go or whatever, it was backed up, and I had been trying to make the turn, so I was cockeyed and I couldn't go. And some guy is screaming at me, move your car up so you can go in. And I'm like, where do you want me to go? And I turn around, I'm like, shut the fuck up. And then he's like, what? I go in. And Debbie's like, stop.
You just dropped an F-bomb.
Oh, sorry. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I haven't done that in a long time. Parental warning, parental advisement. Wow, sorry.
That's twice in like a month.
Is it? I'm getting loosey-goosey.
Twice this year.
The whiskey talking. It's lawless on the internet, isn't it? Why do you keep turning your mic off?
Was that straight whiskey?
Yeah.
That explains it.
And last time, everybody's moving, and the car in front of me, the woman is on her phone, and there's nobody in front of her. So I give the horn just a little tap. And she was in a Mini Cooper convertible with what I'm guessing was her son or her way too age-inappropriate lover in the back. And he turns, and I didn't roll the window down. I'm just like, I mouthed, turn around. And Debbie's like, stop it. It's not worth it. And I'm like, she's like, I know, but stop it. I'm like, okay. All right.
Wow.
I'll stop it.
You're Marta in the chat pointing out we each swore tonight. True, but I was following Brian's lead when I said the S word.
I apologize.
I apologize.
The F-bomb just slipped out.
I've got to imagine everyone watching this is
they've been waiting decades for us to swear. This is like when Howard Stern finally got to go to Sirius. But now we're done. I've done it. I don't need to do it again.
That's true.
I'll watch myself better. I apologize. If I've offended anyone with my coarse language, I apologize.
We're very old-fashioned.
Now, please don't cancel me. Or you know what? Whatever. All right. So the next 2 weeks, we are on summer hiatus. When we come back, this will be we'll take the hiatus. We'll start a new season. We will start a new season. Thank you, Marta. So we will come back. What is today? Hold on. Look at me.
We're back. I believe it's June 14th.
Next week's the 31st, so the 7th or the 14th.
No, it's the 13th because
we're moving to Mondays.
We're moving to Mondays. That's the other thing.
Moving to Mondays.
I should have led with that, honestly.
No, listen. We have 2 weeks. I'll plug it a bunch. New day and time. Well, new day, same time, correct? You want to keep the same time?
Yeah, it turns out Tuesday is just literally the worst day of the week for me. I always have to work late or just have some major commitment. So we're going to do Monday where I know there won't be any issues because on Mondays, my spouse actually teaches a yoga class on Monday nights during this time.
Perfect.
It's after kids' bedtime. So we may have to late start. I'll our son's bedtime is usually between 7 and 8, but she's got to bounce like 7:30. So like if I'm still putting him to bed, we might be a couple. Maybe it'll be 8:15 start. Maybe we'll say 8:30 or something. But we'll figure that out. But it will be Monday nights.
Yes, I will, Marta. I will, as we get closer, I will nonstop plug that we are going to Mondays, and that will be going forward. Will be on Mondays, which is good. It's good, good for me too, I guess. One night more or less, doesn't matter. Give me you'll get it on all your podcast platforms a little earlier.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. So we will enjoy ourselves. Very nice. Anything else before you go off on summer break, Jimmy Kimmel?
Not even a little bit.
All right. No, me either. I'm, we'll have a lot to catch up on in 2 weeks. Cody, watch Concert for George.
Opening that link in a new tab right now. Thank you.
Listen, have fun in Boston. That'll be great. Enjoy some baked beans, some clam chowder. Go to the Harvard Yard and park your car. See if there's any Southies around. And where are you sitting? Are you sitting on the field or are you sitting on the Green Monster?
What's the Green Monster?
Oh, I can't even talk to you.
Like
wait till you get to Fenway. I don't want to ruin it. Go to Fenway. You know what you do? Go outside of Fenway when you're on Yonke Way and ask somebody, "Hey, I heard, is there a Green Monster?" So see how the Boston folk take to you.
I don't think I'm going to do that. Green Monster's a nickname for the left field wall. Why would I sit on the left field wall?
I don't know.
That's the outfield. I wouldn't be able to see anything.
I don't know where his stage setup is.
I don't know either. No, I did like 3 hours of research into where the best seats are, and it
Okay.
turns out that anywhere under the stands or on the bottom part, like, is terrible. The
Okay.
acoustics are apparently the general consensus is actually that the acoustics at Fenway are pretty horrible,
Yeah.
unless you're in like a specific spot on the field or up in one of the box seats.
Oh,
And all the prices for all the tickets were the same. So we're like second or third or fourth row, like in the top area. But apparently that's where the acoustics are really good. You can
oh,
see
cool.
everything going on. The lasers and the lights are always really
Yeah.
cool. And apparently, you basically get like your own service with like the beers, and there's like no one's ever in the
Nice.
bathrooms. So it's just not, you're just
Oh,
a little more like,
dude.
yeah. So it'll feel like
You
we're in
are a baller.
like a
You are a
suite.
baller
No,
now.
dude, tickets were the same price anywhere. I could get on the field tickets
Really?
for this, yeah, same price. Fenway capped it at like $200 a seat.
Wow, that's
So
very cool.
it was amazing. Now I
Of course,
did
you got
have
them
to
aftermarket, yeah.
I did get aftermarket, but it wasn't that bad. Like I think it was like an extra maybe up to 100, but it wasn't like $500 a ticket or anything. It's pretty decent.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah, I'll take a lot of pictures. It'll be pretty
Yes,
rad.
please do. Yeah, so because he used to close with Live and Let Die, and there's a huge light show that goes with it.
Oh, yes.
So that will be fun. Well, have a good time. We will talk to everybody on June 13th. Again, as always, thank you for listening. Tell your friends. Now is a good time. This is a great 2 weeks to get your friends involved, have them go back, recommend your favorite episodes from the years, and have them get hooked because, listen, we are nothing if not addictively funny. And yeah, that's that. I got nothing else.
Anybody you know going on a road trip, going on a little trip to Galena, going up to Wisconsin for the weekend, headed
Yeah.
over to Indiana, any downstate,
Getting
anyone,
committed to a mental institution, going
sure.
to prison.
But podcasts are a great road companion. So if you
Yes,
know
they are.
anybody driving anywhere, just be like, hey, throw on this podcast. I think you'll enjoy
Yeah.
it, keep you company for a little while. A couple swears, maybe for the
Yeah, there
last
might be a
episode.
swear. Of course, you have to go through all the episodes to get to this one. Then you'll hear a couple swears. But yeah, and it's kind of like the radio show, except without all those pesky commercials.
Yeah.
All right. Have a wonderful trip.
Thanks, you too. Bye.